Hey guys, welcome to another series of our 30 by 30, Her Strength, Her Story. Y'all know what time it is, right? We're sitting down with our professional staff / civilian staff to learn a little bit more about them. And today, it's the glasses for us guys. We have the Miss Joyce Wilburn.
Hi.
How are you today, Queen?
I'm awesome. Thank you for having me.
No, I'm glad you were willing because I didn't think you were going to be you're so busy here at the sheriff's office. I didn't think you were going to have time.
Such is life. You have to make time to celebrate yourself.
Yes, come on. So you know about the 30 by 30, a little bit what it is about the women and celebrating women in law enforcement?
Yeah, I know a little bit about it.
So that's essentially, so what they want to do is have 30% of women working in law enforcement by the year 2030. And we can probably agree that our Sheriff Owens, he's done that.
Yes, he has.
And now for you, Miss Wilburn, because I know you're not new to this office life. Tell us how long have you been with the Sheriff's Office?
15 years.
15 years.
Yes.
So let me ask you a real question. Do you like the changes that you've seen since Sheriff Owens has came compared to the previous leadership?
Oh, I love it. I love the fact that we're moving into the next phase, the next generation. He's addressing when you look at it as it relates to IT. Some of the things that I'm starting to see, and you read about this, you hear about it, and now we're receiving it. So it's like we're living in these times now, as far as the technology that we have now. And
that's one of the biggest things he always talked about in his leadership. To be the best, greatest sheriff's office, not in the county, but the whole world. And he talked about being innovative. So you kind of gave us a teaser. What do you do here at the sheriff's office?
I am in IT.
That's so broad. Break it down.
So it's kind of hard to break it down. When I first started 2010, I was told that anything with a light on, or anything that should have a light on, that is my responsibility to either assist in repairing, restoring, or making referrals to assist and have it repaired or restored. So as we move into now and making sure that we have things restoration, because IT is, as you mentioned, is a broad subject.
Yes, it is.
And we look at the end users. We want to be able to capture and to address any concerns they have, if it's with Axon cameras, if it's with your equipment, if it's with computers, if it's just simply logging on. So it's a wide range.
It is, and with you having a lot of different, I guess, aspects of the job, like, does that make it more exciting because every day is going to look a little different?
It does. Sometimes it's intimidating.
And then
at times, you walk in and you're thinking, I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
But then once you start digging in and delving into what the issue may be, and also sometimes calling resources.
Yes.
And just tackling it.
And you get it done. Well, I want to say on behalf of myself, and I'm sure the communications office or department agrees, you do a good job of getting things done for us because, we ask you like, boom, boom, you're on it. We're not waiting 2, 3, 4 weeks. So listen, Miss Wilburn, IT, she'll get it done. No pressure, all pressure. But so with that, so let me ask you this. So you've done IT the whole 15 years at the sheriff's office?
Well, with the exception of 4 months. I started as the CJS in 2010, and I was working overnight. I was on shift 2.
Oh.
I knew I was not going to be a CJS long.
Okay.
Because I didn't have the desire, but I had the desire to learn. So what I started doing was learning every aspect of the jail, because I didn't know where I was going to land. I just knew I was going to land somewhere else.
Okay.
So I started in June, and by December, I was with the IT department.
And you've been ever since?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, you can kind of, because some people, they know right away, okay, this is a good fit for me. But like, how was you able to get out of it so fast? Because 4 months is kind of quick to kind of like realize, let me do something else.
There was a need. I initially went out for a different position as administrative assistants with the lieutenant colonel at the time.
Okay.
And during the interview, they looked at my past history, and they indicated we may have something else for you. If you're not selected, maybe we could look into something else because based on my background. I was a single mom at the time, so I was looking at, I needed to be home during the day and not away from my children at night.
Yeah.
So I was willing to do anything it took as far as whatever position they were offering. Because if you think about it, in 2010, that's when the job market had crashed. So at that point, you didn't have a lot of options.
Yeah. But look at you. They made us, well, it's almost as they kind of found a spot for you. It looked like it was a great fit.
Yes,
You
yes.
said your background. What is your background?
My background is kind of twofold.
Okay.
It's I worked with AT&T for 18 and a half years.
Oh.
And Datacom was the big thing for me. Also, throughout my working career, I've always trained and taught. Whatever position I landed in with AT&T and prior to AT&T, I always wound up training. So training was like my forte, training and teaching, motivating and inspiring. So with that said, with that combination, and that's what they were looking for too, they were in the process of bringing on changing out the jail system from JMS to OMS, along with RMS. So those two things I was tasked with learning.
Those are big things too.
Yes, they are, and they're kind of fun when you're on the grassroots and you're learning the background of the system and you're learning the needs of the agency and trying to connect those two. It's kind of fun to me, and that's what I kind of, maybe that's the weird, quirky side of me.
I love that though. You said fun for you. I like that though, because no, that was I didn't even know you were part of that whole integration when we changed over. Like, I know that was a big task.
Yes.
Was working effectively, so good job.
Huh.
Now,
I wasn't alone though.
I know you wasn't, but you still did your part, and we love that. Now, I'm talking to you, but I'm just so distracted by these beautiful glasses. Okay, because every time we see Miss Wilburn, she has a variety of glasses. So is this like your, well, tell me about this. Is this your little trademark, or this is so fashionable?
It's kind of my trademark.
Okay.
So when I was growing up, glasses were not popular. I had to wear glasses at a young age. And my summer jobs back in the early 80s, 1980s, I spent my money on glasses.
Really?
I said, if I won't have to wear glasses, I'm going to wear glasses.
Gonna be cool glasses.
Yes.
Are you like recognized for your style of glasses? They're like, oh, you know, Miss, who has the cool glasses? Is that how they recognize you?
I don't know about being recognized. I don't really see myself as someone that's just being recognized as.
This is happening in this moment, so you are recognized.
But as far as uniqueness, I like the uniqueness of different glasses.
Okay, so let's get into the uniqueness, right? Because again, IT to me, that's such a, it can be a laborious task or field. It can be also interesting, but for you, like, you found it, there was no other roles maybe in the sheriff's office that appealed to you. You feel like the IT is my spot, I want to stick with this.
Initially, law enforcement. I've always been attracted to law enforcement. However, prior to 2010 or prior to 2008, I was going to leave AT&T and I wanted to join APD.
Really?
At that time,
Atlanta Police?
Yes, and at the time they told me I was too old.
There's an age limit?
There was an age limit at that time.
Okay.
At that time, and this was maybe 2000, mid 2000, early 2000s, and I was like, okay, well, maybe it's safe. And then 2007 with Brian Nichols, the case came out. I said, well, I missed that bullet.
Yeah.
So what can I do that I'll stay relevant in the law enforcement field and not necessarily be part of the front line, but be part of front line in a different way. I've always studied street law. In high school, I attended the first magnet school in the United States.
Name of the school?
Metro Magnet High School, and located in Chicago. Now it's closed, but it was the first magnet school in the United States. I was blessed with the fact that you were able to identify your case studies. So my study was street law. A lot of my courses were taught in the court system. We were paired with an attorney.
Oh, wow.
And his name was Ted. I can't remember his last name. And I would have to go to a lot of mock cases. We had a lot of case studies. So I was like fascinated with law early on.
That was cool.
And in college, my concentration was criminology. Fast forward, I started out as a legal advocate in Chicago, Cook County.
Cook County, know about them.
Yeah, so it wasn't until recent times, well, when I moved back and started with AT&T, I said, well, maybe I cannot work directly in the law field, but I can work to empower youth to avoid being part of.
Yes, being in the system. So, because you gave me a lot of good stuff there. So, to my understanding, you've always had an interest in law enforcement. So, again, you had the opportunity to go into the first magnet school in the United States, and you got to actually do some hands-on cases. So, now, what initially attracted you? Did you want to become a police officer in law enforcement, or specifically, what attracted you to even want to be a part of law enforcement?
I wanted to become a detective.
Oh, I can see. Look, Miss Wilburn on the case, Detective Wilburn.
So I always wanted to become a detective.
Oh.
Because it just seemed cool. Growing up, they seemed so cool.
They did. What show? You said growing up, like who you watch? Maybe it was a show or somebody personally you knew?
I guess it's more so growing up in my neighborhood. I had a couple. I grew up with, in the neighborhood I grew up in was a blue collar neighborhood in Chicago,
Okay.
it's West Chatham area,
Okay.
and in the area I had within a 2-block period span, you had 3 sergeants. So you had 2 that lived right across from each other and 1 on the corner from me.
Oh, wow.
They would tell me about cases and in solving cases. So that piqued my interest early on.
Little you, how old were you then when they was asking? Telling you
Maybe 7th, 8th grade throughout the high school.
That's so cool that you had that one-on-one, like up closeness. You mind me asking their race or gender?
African American. We're black. It's a black neighborhood.
Was it men, women?
Men, all men.
Okay.
All men. I didn't know too many females in law enforcement. Matter of fact, I really don't recall any in law enforcement.
Wow.
Now, by the time I attended college, some of my friends' sisters, they were in law enforcement.
I'm just still taking back. You wanted to be a detective. Look, I think you would be so good at it. Okay, so you grew up in the neighborhood. You were influenced by your neighbors and that, and so you tried APD. This ended up being for you. Now, the sheriff's office. Do you still have interest of maybe discovering any of that, or you just want to as far as like detective or maybe becoming sworn? Do you have any interest in any of that?
Not necessarily becoming sworn. Looking at it as far as IT. And how, cases, child pornography, how they're catching just different cases. I am fascinated with the fact that now we have technology that as soon as the crime is committed, we can follow you.
Yeah.
What fascinates me is I was once told I could follow you on the way home. And I laughed because of the different lights, the different cameras that are out, that are in the lights.
Yeah.
That fascinates me for the simple fact that when there's a crime committed, we could solve a crime based on the information that's there, based on the technology that we have in our society now. So that in itself is fascinating to me. It makes me think we could go back and really solve some of those
cold cases.
Yes, in which they are doing it.
So I hear it as you're telling me your stories. You have a true passion for technology. So I'm just curious, even though I know you know law enforcement too. Did you ever have interest in getting a degree in IT or any of that? And how did you get skilled on it?
Well, I secretly take classes.
So I mean, not a secret no more.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I'm always into bettering self. So it's always good to learn and read up on. My degree is actually, I have a dual degree in psychology and sociology with the concentration of criminology.
Yes, ma'am.
So with that said, I'm always trying to hone my skills. Have I thought about getting a degree? I have.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I mean, a master's degree or further my education, that's always on the forefront. Always on the forefront.
You're becoming impressive, ma'am. Okay, so I want to go back to something else though, because I know you were at CJS for only 4 months, and I know one of the main things we would like to talk about in our 30 by 30 is if you face any adversity from males in this predominantly male-dominated field. Have you had any of those experiences that wasn't the best, whether it was in IT or actually when you were at CJS? Share with us what you have.
Of course. It's been a lot of instances that you're not taken seriously. And even at this age, I find that sometimes people talk down to me, and I'm looking like, But that comes with the territory.
Okay. And when you say people, you're talking about men specifically?
Yes.
Yeah.
Men, and not to male bash, but I mean, it happens.
How do you deal with it though when it happens?
Sometimes you have to take a step back before you attack. Sometimes you kind of chuckle. And then sometimes I have to work on myself in trying to prove myself. I have to understand that in proving myself, it still doesn't mean anything to anyone else, that's their opinion. So that's, I think, a bigger pill to swallow than it is in proving yourself. Because you know what you know. Yeah,
nobody can take that from you.
Right.
But I noticed you to say, like, it's just kind of what it is. So it's almost like a sense of acceptance that, in this industries particularly, that is very male-dominated, people working, you're probably gonna deal with the 9 out of 10 of some man thinking, oh, you're a girl, get out the way, I got it. It's just kind of the norm. But how do we break that norm and that stigma, in your opinion?
Do we break it, or do we just push past it? And then pushing past it is completing the task and then pressing forward. Because your opinion is your opinion.
Yeah.
Everyone has an opinion. So I guess I asked you, but I know you're asking me, do you waste time in trying to prove them wrong, or just complete the task and press forward and not carry it with you? Because while you're trying to prove yourself, you're taking on something that you may not want to take on.
Okay. Well, and so I guess if I'm gathering your answer there is that, I guess there's times that you may say something, you take a beat before you respond, or you just, what my granny say, pay no, never mind, and keep it moving.
Yes.
That's probably the safest way to keep your inner peace, right?
Correct.
And do you feel like with that you have to protect your peace in those spaces?
Oh, of course. Of course. It's been several times I've been in the boardroom or been in meetings and I'm just really overlooked. And
how does that make you feel, though?
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but you take it all in. Because every situation, my philosophy is, in every situation there's a learning lesson. If the lesson is directly for you, about you, or to you, there's a lesson in everything that transpires in your life. So you cannot take it on, because the more you take on, it could be simply just your perception, or it could be something negative that's going to really weigh you down. So why take it on?
I love that perspective, like, taking the negative into being like a learning possibility and just like, what, let me just see what I can learn from this, and the rest, let's just throw it out. Yeah. I love that. Okay, so let me ask you this, and then I'm gonna go into the personal space. So in your 15 years, what was like the biggest challenge you had to overcome here at the Sheriff's Office?
As we mentioned, proving ourselves, just proving myself.
Why though?
Because I came in one of the lowest paid, and wanted to prove so that I can elevate and just grow with it
as well.
Yes, and respect. So I think that was one of the challenge, and I think it still is a challenge when it comes to certain people or certain situations. But I think that's a life challenge sometimes, not just for women, but for everyone. Yes. But I think as a woman, we do find that we do have to prove ourselves a little more than the average person.
Yeah. And I guess you would prove that by just showing up and doing our job.
Yes.
And not feeling intimidated or allowing the circumstance to take over us.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Look, see, I'm getting your brain. I'm figuring out how you're thinking, right? No, but I do love that. So let's shift to this, because the personal, because you mentioned when you first started, you were a single mom. Okay, and so now you're here in this thing, you're working. Do you work after hours now, or do you still like a daytime shift?
Well, in IT, it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So you have on-call time. Now it's a life balance.
Okay, that was
It's
what I wanted to get
but it was different when, because of course my kids are grown.
Yeah.
However, there's a life balance, and it's based on the needs of the business. I want to see things to fruition.
Yeah.
So with that said, sometimes it will require that you stay a little later. It may require that you come in a little early, just to ensure that the job is completed and completed correctly.
So if you can elaborate, what kind of tasks did you have to do that had to get done?
Like, for example, there was a storm not too long ago. It knocked all the power out. And lo and behold, guess who was on call? And not just me, it happens to everyone. But you may be required, so I was required to come in. Luckily, I was not the only one coming in. But when it's called all hands on deck for a reason.
Yeah.
You called in and to address a different issue. So if it's a power outage, the first thing I'm thinking about or addressing is what areas are affected. For example, if it's at the jail, then you want to look at what doors is anyone trapped. What's within your realm that you could do to assist in bringing up or addressing anything that might have been brought down during the power outage. Was the servers knocked out? What about phone, data, things of that nature? So with the power outage, I'm called in the middle of the night. Like, for example, I'm on call now, and I literally keep a full tank of gas, sneakers by the door, toothpaste and toothbrush in your bag, so that you will be able to jump up and come in. There have been other times after the interview, I have to go in and address a particular area, whereas it's affected in the pod. They're not receiving any phone or data for one particular area, not the entire pod. It's just one particular phone, which is still a pivotal area. I could say, well, you could just go take 20 steps away and use that phone. Sometimes that's not an option. You have to come in, you have to address.
So it sounds like it's a lot of dedication there. And so with you being on call and, with your children, I know they're grown now, but do you ever, even with they're still your children, they still like to probably spend time. Do you ever find yourself having to this job takes away at all, or you're having to, I gotta go, like, have there been problems in that area?
There have been challenges, yes. I could honestly say that there have been challenges, and especially as you get older, you want to have more time for yourself, and unless you adopt that life balance, it can be a little overwhelming. Because you still have the recitals, you still have the basketball games, you still have those things to do. And in addition to the job and family life, you have to have your life, your me time. So there is a challenge, and it's a struggle sometimes to remember you have to take care of self first. I'm not sure if that answers the question.
No, it definitely did. But you talk about that, self-balance. I kind of want to go into the next phase then, about what you do outside of here. What is Joyce doing outside of the sheriff's office? And I want to know. I know you're like you have your daughters and you have your grandson. So, what do you like to do for fun? Is that a part of it? I would assume family time.
Well, family time is always a part of it, but my main thing, I love to craft. Okay. I love to sew. I love to turn my music on. I love to play all genres. I was raised to where we listened to R&B, neo soul, rap, country, gospel, of course, classical. It doesn't matter. I love music. Music that channels my soul.
I thought you were about to say that music makes you lose control. Music makes you.
I know. Look, DJ to heart.
You're a DJ?
Used to.
What?
Used to.
Look at you.
Used to, yes. So, I mean, that just fun facts.
Yes.
And I still go home. Sometimes I may play the music, play some of my music, or I don't bust out the turntables, but I still have I have albums at home. I still have them posted.
That's actually
Yeah.
really fun. Now, well, let me go to this crafting now. So, what kind of what's some stuff you make?
Well, right now I've been doing, I'm dotting, painting, and
What's dotting?
sewing. So that's a new type of art, dotting art. It's like putting gems on a sticky paper that creates a picture. That's what I'm doing this week. But I love to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I love making journals. I love creating t-shirts. So a fun fact,
Look at
I know you
you.
wanted to hear fun facts.
I love
So,
fun facts.
I'm the youngest in the family, and a lot of my brothers and sisters were teenagers in the 70s.
Okay,
So in the
okay.
80s, I wanted to obtain this certain lifestyle because I felt I had to dress a certain way.
Okay.
However, my family couldn't afford that style and dress that, the lifestyle that I was trying to attain.
Okay.
But I learned to go in the basement, pull out some of their old clothes,
Yes.
and redesign them.
Remix.
So take the bell bottoms to straight legs, add a little pocket, change it around, bada bing, and then I learned how to make t-shirts. So t-shirts, in Chicago, we had this unique way of making t-shirts. So
Okay.
you take one half a sweatshirt, cut it in half, and cut another sweatshirt, sew them together, and then you cut out different letters. So all of this heat press, this Cricut machine, we didn't have Cricut machines then.
yeah.
We had to do manual cut and then heat press. So I started doing that in the 80s. I still do that. So those are some of the things that I like to do.
Yes.
So whenever you see me, I'm kind of branded. And when I say branded, it's always representing something I either made, created, designed, and had someone else to make it for me. I love just being, just kind of unique and
Yes.
just being me.
You're definitely an individual, and I love that. You see, I'm trying to check you out. You have on some branded apparel today. But it's the glasses that does enough for us with your nice little ruffles. I love
thank
it.
you.
I did not. You came off like a creative person, but for you now to share that you do all that, that's super cool.
It's a Virgo thing.
You said it's a what?
A Virgo thing.
We love that. Okay. What other fun facts we got for you, Miss Wilburn? Because you feel like you got a few more.
Well, that's basically it. What people don't realize is I'm actually shy. People
Ma'am.
always say that. No, I will speak up for myself.
Okay,
Because of working in this field, you have to speak up.
That's right.
Coming from where I came from, again, I'm the youngest. I had to speak up.
Oh,
From a big
yeah.
family, you had to speak up. But I'm really shy.
Oh.
I'm really shy. Aside from volunteering and working with my youth or my seniors, I'm a shy person. And people always say, you?
When you say shy, you can be reserved.
No, shy.
I just can't say it. But listen, if you go, because I guess we feel so comfortable with you, but I mean, nevertheless, I think the most important thing that you said is you speak up, especially in this role. And I'm glad that you've been targeted on that, because I did want to get your opinion on if people, women specifically, want to get into this field as a professional staff, what advice would you give them?
Learn your craft. Be strong. Know who you are. Believe in you. And I know we're looking at women in law enforcement, but women just in general. You have to believe in you.